Hello, Palladium fans. We are here once again with a special episode for you. We're recording this at the end of June 2026, and Kevin and I wanted to share what Palladium's convention schedule for the rest of the year and a little bit in 2027 was going to be like. So I think the first thing we have coming up, Kevin, is you guys are going to be at Gen Con as always with just your massive booth. And I've gotten to see what the new booth display looks like, and it looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. It's actually pretty much a group effort. We were fooling around with different booth design elements for the Gamma Trade Show this spring. And then we just kind of pulled our thoughts and resources and came up with some really great ideas that Wayne and Sean Hall and I put together. And it looks great. I think people will be impressed and pleased with it. Plus, honestly, this is the convention debut of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness.
It's true.
So we have a wall of Ninja Turtles and the TMNT Transdimensional Adventures there, and the Black, White, and Red edition, and of course a huge selection of everything else. We tried to bring almost everything in our catalog as far as books go. We don't bring T-shirts and things like that, but there'll be books, there'll be art, there'll be all kinds of cool things. And as you know, JM, we really like to be there for our fans. So I will be available to chat and sign autographs with the fans almost all the time. I mean, obviously, we run out to talk to artists and do lunch and this and that, but Sean and I and most of the Palladium staff and our helpers, which are often other Palladium creators, will be at the booth a lot. And so come on down. We're delighted to sign your books. We're delighted to chat with you for a while. We're thrilled to tell you what's coming up. And in fact, we should have QR codes to the launch party for the Glitter Boy Codex, which is amazing. We haven't announced it yet. We just kind of announced it in the latest weekly update.
Yeah.
But that'll be cool. And there's more to that crowdfunder than just the book. Meanwhile, Sean is working on Bestiary Volume 2, which unfortunately we won't have in time for Gen Con, but it's getting really close to going to the printer. And, so I will be there. Sean Owen Robertson, my business partner, will be there. Wayne Smith, the editor of The Rifter, will be there. Caleb Nelson, our Lord of the Warehouse, will be there. Mark Oberly, who has written a number of things for both Riffs and Nightbane, will be there. Glenn Evans, who's written a bunch of fantasy stuff and has contributed to The Rifter, will be there. Mike Leonard, who's done a lot of Rifter stuff and some things on the Drive-Thru RPG website. And of course, our new guy will be there, Daniel Lansdowne. He's fantastic. He's been doing great stuff for us, helping bring a bunch of things up to speed with regard to our website and the online store and a bunch of other cool stuff. Plus, the cool thing of Daniel that I think is sort of a deep, dark secret is he actually has been involved with the Ninja Turtles and that whole fandom for like years and years and years. I mean, he's good buddies with Steve Levine and Kevin Eastman and knows Peter Laird and all this stuff. And he also co-designed one of IDW's TMNT board games with miniatures and stuff. So he's now part of the Palladium team, and he will be there. So come on down, say hi, pick up books you've been meaning to get, pick up things that look like they're fun. You got to check out Ninja Turtles if you haven't bought Ninja Turtles yet. My goodness, you need to get it because they're just freaking gorgeous.
Yeah. And if you haven't checked them out, go to the YouTube channel right now, go to the Reels section. You can see how great these Ninja Turtle books are, because we've got several reels up just showing Kevin walking you through the book and what's in them. And you should definitely check those out. I know every time I go to Gen Con, I come away with a backpack full of new to me Riffs books, because I'm like, well, I'm almost done collecting, getting my whole collection back and all of the new things that came out. I really think all of the Mercenary and Black Ops things that we've been talking about, those are the next set of books that are going to be coming into my Gen Con purchases.
Well, I think we have them all. I think they're all in stock. We've been sending books in to get reprinted left and right to make sure we have as much as we can in time for Gen Con. It won't be everything, but it'll be like 90%.
Awesome.
Plus, we'll have some other cool stuff. Like I haven't decided if I'm bringing original art yet, but I might bring some original art. I'll have a selection of negatives, which are cool, weird things. I should have brought some to show and tell here, but I didn't think that far ahead. Back in the early days of printing, you would shoot. The printer would shoot with a camera each individual page, and then gang up like 16 to a page, and they would run them on these big presses. And every time you reprinted a book, they would shoot from the negatives. Well, everything went digital back in the early 2000s. So our printer called us up and said, what do you want to do with these negatives? Should we just toss them? And sadly, at first I said, yeah, just throw them out. What am I going to do with the negatives? And then I always had this sort of sense of history. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Stop throwing them out and ship them to Palladium. We'll keep them. And they're sort of a pain in the neck because you got to cut them out of these big sheets, page by page. But they're really cool. They almost look like woodcuts. They're beautiful. You can frame them. They look great. I've been trying to sign everything that we bring to sell, and they're just really cool, and they really are one or two of a kind. Sometimes there's two, like if we corrected or changed a page, or replaced a page of something, maybe a different piece of art or a big hunk of corrected text or something. There may be two because I replaced it, but for the most part, there's just like one of everything, and they're just really neat. So I'll be bringing some of those. And no, I won't have Ninja Turtle ones because we've sold. That was one of the first things I had chopped out and had sold for a song. So you guys who got them, you're lucky. And I didn't keep any because I'm stupid. And but it is what it is. And then I'll be bringing some out of print books and some old books that used to be like my gaming copies and stuff for people who like that kind of stuff. And it'll be fun. Plus, Gen Con is just, if you've never been, tighten your belt and tie your double knot your shoes and be prepared to be wowed, because I would say it's a circus, but it's not. It's more like going to Disney World or some kind of massive carnival, because there's just sights and sounds. And
my wife loves going, and all she does for all 4 days, she doesn't play in any games, she doesn't go to any panels. She spends 4 days in the dealer hall, and she still doesn't see everything.
No,
the dealer hall, that, like, you got to understand, it's so massive.
No, it was funny. Every year, someone comes up to us and goes, "Oh, I'm so glad Palladium is back at Gen Con." And we're like, we've never left. We've been here for years and years and years. And they're like, "Well, I didn't see you the last 2 years." And I'm like, I don't doubt it, but we were here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But that's not the only convention. And for some people, Gen Con is too massive. I have a number of friends who would love to go, and they're just like, it's just too many people. So I know that in September, you've got some conventions that are a little bit smaller. And if you're in the region, you might be able to catch Kevin at Granite State Comic Con. It's
in Manchester, New Hampshire. It's right near the home of Mirage Studios and Peter Laird, the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, and a bunch of the original Mirage Studio artists like Steve Levine and Dan Berger and a bunch of those guys. I assume Eric Talbot. I'm not sure all these guys ended up landing, but and certainly all those guys will be at that show. So one of the really cool things about Granite State Comic Con is that they have a very much positive and growing gaming community there and a gaming presence, which is why I will be there along with a couple other folks from Palladium Books. But it's sort of the unofficial Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle convention, because since it is right there by the home of the creators, Kevin Eastman, who's on the West Coast, flies in every couple of years, and he will be here this year, is my understanding. So Kevin Eastman will be there. I don't know if Peter Laird will be there, but Ben Bishop and Pharaoh Pay and Freddie Williams and Jim Lawson, and the list goes on and on and on. Eric Talbot, all these guys make this show almost every single year. Go to their website and check it out to see exactly who's going to be there. Well, it's a great show. They get about 10,000 people, I think.
Okay.
And so it's big, but it's not too big. They also get some really great comic book and media guests. So there's always really cool panel talks. I love this show. If it wasn't a million miles away, I would go every single year. But for us to drive in, it's like 12 or 14 hours if you stop to eat someplace and once or twice. So it's a long ride for us, but we'll be making it. This will be our third year there. I'm not sure if Steve Jackson will be there, but he was there for several years. It's always great to see Steve Jackson there. And, they're getting some more and more premium guests. I don't remember if there were some other guests that were pretty cool that I remember seeing, but they escape me right now. But anyways, check them out. It's fun to go. We'll be there. We'll have Ninja Turtle books there and Rift stuff and whatever new releases we might have. And that's like in the middle of September. I want to say around the 20th.
Perfect.
It's a great show. It's lots of fun. Come on down.
Any other conventions this year before we talk about your triumphant return to Page?
So Palladium doesn't do a whole lot of conventions. They take up a ton of time. It's not just, pack up the truck and let's go. It's lots of planning. Like you and I, before this taping, I said, you said, what's going on? I said, well, I'm doing a bunch of the pre-Gen Con prep stuff. And you said, oh yeah, so are we at Studio 2 and getting ready for everything. And it's just, so there's like weeks of prep. If you're building new parts of your display, there's that time. There's advertising, I forgot to mention in the short too, that we have at Gen Con, we have a special discount coupon. So you can save like $10 per turtle book. We're selling After the Bomb books at half price. You definitely want to take advantage of that. And then, check out different cons. Like I've never been to Gamehole Con, but I hear nothing but great things about it.
I love Gamehole Con. That is probably my favorite convention I go to every year. Just from it's just large enough. It was about 5,000 people, I think, last year. It's just large enough that you get Monty Cook Games and Free League and Pinnacle and Chaosium shows up. But it's also small enough that you're probably going to play, if you're playing in one style of game, you're probably going to play in this with the same people. You're gonna encounter the same people again. I got to meet Skip Williams last year, and he signed all my second edition books. It was
as far as other conventions, not really. We're going to be at the Universal Summit in Fort Wayne That's at the end of August. So if you're a retailer, swing by our booth and get the latest news and information. And then Wayne will be at the Universal Summit in Montreal. That's in September.
Oh, very cool.
And then that's it for us with Granite State until Page, the Philadelphia area. What's the whole thing?
Gaming Expo,
right.
Yeah.
Philadelphia
it's the 4th year.
Gaming Expo.
Yeah. 4th year, you and I will both be there again. Palladium will have a little booth, and Kevin and I are actually putting together panels to submit to do some chats about the history of Palladium Books and being an RPG historian and do game design. It's a great convention, well worth coming out. It's for its third. My first year was this year, which was its 3rd year. For a 3rd year gaming convention, it was very well done. Like, it did not feel like it was still in its infancy. It felt like this thing was a well-oiled machine. It was much larger than I expected. I go to North Texas and Chupa CabraCon every year, and they are very small, very focused conventions that have been going on for many, many years. Page, again, being in its 3rd year, knocked it out of the park. I can't wait to go back this year.
And they get a lot of people, I think, because it's in January.
Yep.
I can't believe every time I say I'm going to a convention in January, everyone assumes I'm going someplace warm. Like, oh, where are you going? And I'm like, Philadelphia. And they're like, oh,
why? Yeah, I almost didn't make it home because of a snowstorm that came up on the last day that we were there.
But you're right. It's a really good show. I think they get around 3,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're expecting like 3,500 or 4,000 this year. Their auction is amazing. That's something to check out. They get amazing auction items, of which I've contributed to. Among many other people who have even much cooler stuff than I've donated, but it's going to be great, and their panel talks are good. Their guest lineup is pretty astonishing. So one of the reasons I've been really supporting Page a lot is because my buddy Matt Ballant, who goes way back early on with the early days of Palladium, he loves it. He's been going there since the first one. And because they cover so many old school games as well as new games, but they make a special effort to bring in a lot of the old school creators.
Yeah.
So people have a chance to talk about what it was like back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Designing games or working with Gary Gygax and a bunch of other legendary people. I was on a panel where this one guy was like going on and he's like this legendary figure, and at some point he stops and goes, "Oh gosh, I'm monopolizing everything." And the 3 other panelists, me included, were like, "No, go on. This is fascinating," because we didn't know about any of this stuff.
My favorite moment from the panels last year was, I think we posted the whole panel. We recorded and posted the panel. We'll do that again this year. But we had, as you were talking about the early years of Palladium, there was a guy in the audience who was like, wait, I have that book. And so you would be talking about like the original weapons and armor books, and he hands them to you, and you were able to show them up and show everybody, hey, this is what the original Mechanoids book looked like. It was fantastic.
It was crazy. Yeah. But very cool.
And you're right. I got to hang out. I think I saw Frank Menser, got to hang out and play in a game with you. A lot of old school games, but also, right, they had Shadow Dark was there. Yep. They had Robert Alderman, who did Gods of the Forbidden North. He went out to dinner with us. Castles and Crusades guys were there. Like, there were just a ton of people who showed up to this convention and made it amazing. And the gaming was fantastic. I got to play in a fantasy game with you, Kevin. Got to play in a couple of games of Castles and Crusades with Chuck, who I adore Chuck as a GM. yeah, so I'm looking forward to running some games, being on some panels, and showing up with you guys at Page this year.
Well, and I hope I'm getting this right. I think it was Page and not Granite State Comic Con, which would seem to make more sense. But Jim Zub, who is one of my favorite comic book writers of all time, if you guys haven't followed Titan Comics, Conan, holy moly, man. It's like Jim Zub is like Robert E. Howard reborn.
Yes, 100%.
He just captures Conan and the Robert E. Howard flavor. That's no slam on all the other authors who have since written stuff. But let's face it, Howard was the best. He was the originator. And I don't know how Jim does it, but he just captures the look and feel. Well, I mean, he's the writer. The artist captured the look. But he captures the feel, the essence of Conan. I mean, there have been some, like I'll be reading a comic and I will just stop for a minute to go, oh, that was beautifully written. Mm-hmm. There are just some lines in it that are just so good. That SOB, I love him, but I'm jealous of some of his writing.
I've got all of the Zub, Conan, and then I also have, Titan Comics. We should do an episode just on Kevin's favorite comic companies right now. But Elric, their Elric stuff is just fantastic.
Yes, it is. All of it. I mean, and they do really good stuff, but they've been just kicking it like no comic book company has ever done with Conan. And that's saying a lot because, Marvel did a great job on Conan. And then, I forget who published the Tim Truman versions of Conan. Those were great. And there's been a lot of good Conan stuff in comics, but holy crap, Titan is just knocking it out. And Jim Zub, I'm pretty sure Jim Zub is going to be at Page, and I can't wait because he's also a huge Palladium fan.
Just let me know when we can do lunch with him. Like,
there you go.
I'll just be a fly on the wall.
No, he's a great guy. And I have to share this, and maybe I did last year or the previous year. What was really hysterical is I'm wandering around Gen Con before it opens up, or maybe it had just opened up. And I look up and I'm like, Jim Zub. Mm-hmm. And I look and there's Conan books and other things he's done, Wayward and other stuff. And I'm like, holy crap. And there's a guy there and his name badge is flipped. And I'm like, excuse me, can you tell me if Jim Zub is actually here? And he's like, oh, I'm Jim Zub. And I'm like, Jim, you're one of my favorite comic. You might be the favorite comic book artist or writer for me right now. And he looks at my name tag and he's like, oh, thanks very much. Kevin Sambita, I love your games. I'm like, I love your comics. He's like, I love your games more. I'm like, I love your comics more. It was ridiculous. It was this love fest. I went out and John Owen Robertson, my business partner, standing right next to me, just laughing. And, I introduced him and we just had a great conversation.
That's awesome.
It was hilarious. So, Jim Zub's a great guy. And, if you're a Conan fan, you come on to, I'm pretty sure he's one of the guests at Page.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, thank you so much. Like, I'm excited about all the conventions you guys are going to be at. I'm going to be at a couple of them as well. And like, I can say as a fan, you guys were always welcoming to me coming up and just nerding out about Palladium Books. Like long before I started doing the history of Palladium Books with you, you guys were always welcome, always just... Sometimes you feel like you can't walk up to a booth or you're taking time away. Palladium will make time for you guys. Come and see them at all of these conventions. Come and say hi.
Yeah, I do want to say we go to the conventions for the fans.
Yeah.
So we welcome you guys. We want you guys to come. That's why, you're not going to see or hear someone announce at Gen Con, special signing hour with Kevin Sambita. No, because we're we're at the booth as much as we can to be there whenever you might swing by, so we can sign your books every time you're there or chat with you a little bit. And no, that's why we're going. So all of us are at our booth most of the time. So yeah, awesome. Come on down. You are very welcome.